Welcome to this edition of Northwest Real Estate Forum. I'm your host, Patricia. This is part 2 of our conversation with Randy Cornwall. Randy is an attorney and expert on distressed property law and transactions at Harrison, Benis, and Spence, LLP in Seattle. Thanks for coming back, Randy. We're going to talk this time about the buyer side of short sales. Now, as a real estate professional, I look for listings for clients, and if somebody is relocating in and they need to have a house in 6 or 8 weeks, we tell them to stay away from short sales because of a timing issue.
Sure.
Now, there are some other people that have a longer period of time, and we say 4 to 6 months, and then a short sale would be a qualification. Can you tell us, number one, why it takes that much time for short sales, and what buyers should know about thinking when they're going to buy a short sale?
Sure. Well, there's always an approval process that needs to happen when you're dealing with a short sale. So the seller is basically asking the lender for permission to sell the property for less than what it's worth. In order to do that, the lender wants to know that the seller can't afford to make the regularly scheduled mortgage payments or make up the shortfall. So there's a verification process that has to happen. So what happens is after an offer gets made on a property, that offer gets submitted to the lender along with the seller's financials, and then the lender has to do their own independent valuation of the property to make sure what the buyer is offering to purchase the property for matches up with their own valuation of the property. Lenders always think the property is worth more than what the buyer wants to pay. So all of that has to take place on the lender's side, and they're a little overwhelmed right now. So that's why it can take a number of months for a short sale to close.
We run into buyers all the time that think the short sale is the deal and the seller is up against it, so they can offer less because less money is better than no money.
Sure.
And that's one idea, but they still have to have the approval of the bank. So
That's right.
You may not be getting it, probably won't be able to get it for 20% below what the market is now. You can get it a little bit below market,
Yeah.
but the banks want to know. The banks send out appraisers.
Absolutely. And that's, to be honest, value is the biggest thing that holds up short sales these days.
Mm-hmm.
So short sales are definitely, you can purchase them at a lower price, because if a buyer is looking at 2 properties, and they're comparable, one's a short sale and one's not, they're going to pay more for the one that's not a short sale because they don't have to endure the approval process. That's why you can buy the same property for a little bit less if it's a short sale, but you're signing up for what could be a much longer close. The term short sale is not really
it's
appropriate.
not short in time. It's not short in time. Well, I know some tricks that I tell my clients that we have to check on. The first one is how many lien holders there are and who are the lien holders. Now, I know from my side, but from your side, what are some additional things that buyers need to know and understand?
Well, I mean, working with a great real estate professional from a buyer's perspective is so important because...
Again, do not do this on your own.
No, but the selling broker, or
Mm-hmm.
who represents the buyer, they have a big role in finding out, because there's a lot of short sales out there. What they've got to find out is which ones are the ones to make offers on. And so what you're trying to do as a selling agent is you're trying to qualify those properties to make sure that they'll actually close if your buyer decides to make an offer on. So calling and asking to find out as much information as you can. How many liens there are, the less the better. Are there any judgments or homeowners association dues that are outstanding? Because those are much more difficult to negotiate than even lien holders are sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any other, the more clouded the title is, the more difficult that transaction will be. So if the listing agent has pulled a title report, I highly recommend that the selling agent take a look at that title report. And the cleaner the title, the better the chances that will actually close.
That's a really good point, because I know in the ones that I've run into, the homeowners association, they were not going to take one dime less. And from our standpoint, they would just assume that the real estate professionals work for free, and that's not going to happen either.
No.
So it's a long process. It's a certain time in the market. This is an anomaly in the big, long history, but people can do the right thing. They can get a good property. They just need to hire the right professionals, right?
Absolutely.
And from your standpoint, you represent the sellers, and I represent both the buyers and the sellers.
Right.
Randy, thanks so much. This has been really valuable information because there's a lot of people that don't understand about short sales but really want to buy them. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching this edition of Northwest Real Estate Forum. Remember, whether you are buying, selling, or sitting on the sidelines, keep watching for important information on topics that are impacting your biggest asset, your home. To learn more about this and other shows, please visit us at northwestrealestateforum.com or check us out on Facebook. While you're there, be sure to order your free copy of Neighbor Law, Fences, Trees, Boundaries, and Noise by Cora Jordan. You will be surprised at what you learn. See you next time.